I have partnered up with Alois to make a brand new Mordekaiser and Garen guide on the Summoner School website. I gave out every single piece of information that I thought was relevant to both champions and everything that I use personally. It explains how you should play in the mid to late game, itemization, champion matchups, and more. Each guide also has a unique matchup spreadsheet. If you want to check either guide out, you can use my link in the video description. With all that being said, please enjoy this video. This game, I thought I was going to be up against the Teemo, so I took the runes I normally take into him. However, it ended up being a Nasus. Normally into Nasus, I look to take Inspiration Secondary and rush Rylai's. But because I don't have Inspiration Secondary, I'm going to look to rush another item. I can get maybe a Liandry's or a Bloodletter's, maybe even Riftmaker. Because I don't have my Rylai's plus Approach Velocity Power Spike, I need to play for something else. In this situation, it's going to be to perma Q-poke Nasus under tower. If you take the setup that allows you to take Rylai's, then you just want to perma freeze on your side of the lane once you acquire it. And then Nasus can't walk up the farm and you can just kill him usually. But because I am not going to go for that, instead what I'm going to do is just force him to sit under tower as I Q him. And I will also need Oblivion Orb 100% of the time here if I want to do this. And the reason I need it is because Nasus has a lot of extra healing. He took Fleet Footwork and most likely also has Second Wind. He also has Doran's Shield, so that's even more healing. And then his passive gives him lifesteal. So the Oblivion Orb purchase is actually very good into Nasus. And then after that I can get something like Liandry's or Bloodletter's Curse. The thing about this lane is that usually if you die once or twice, it is completely over for you. And this is because Nasus can just ult and stat check you really hard in melee range. If he has Trinity Force, you will always lose if you normally go Rylai. But if you have something like Liandry's Torment or Bloodletter's Curse or Riftmaker, you might win it. And this is because those other items give you more power in melee range when you duel next to each other, whereas Rylai's gives you way more stick potential. It is also really good that I have the tenacity and slow resist this game. That tiny rune alone reduces almost a full second off of Wither. It makes it go from 5 seconds to 4.25 seconds, and then it also gives you slow resistance. So not only do I reduce the Wither duration by 0.75 seconds, I also reduce 15% of the Wither slow. I basically always take the 15% tenacity and slow resist if I am up against the Nasus, even if I'm not laning him, just because of how powerful that reduction is. When you go for the Rylai's approach, you also have to look at the wave and make sure that it's always pushed into you. But with this setup, you don't really care that much about the wave, because your entire goal is to Q-poke the Nasus under turret as much as possible. This was actually a bad ultimate on my end. When Amumu queued in, he would have instantly ultied and Kai'Sa would have been caught in that ulti. But because I used my own ultimate on her, she basically escaped it. And I was annoyed at myself for making this misplay. This is a pretty annoying matchup to deal with. K'Sante can perma short trade into you by doing Q auto, and then eventually you will die from it. But the more annoying part is the fact that his W and ultimate can cancel your ulti. His regular W stops it, and his all-out W stops it. So if you are right in his melee range, he can W first, then he can save his ultimate for when you ult, or he can just use his ultimate to get in the all-out form, and then because his W refreshes when he ults, you still won't be able to ult him. You have to wait all three. You can try to ulti him just before his first W ends if it is fully charged. And this is because if K'Sante fully charges the ability, he won't be able to instantly ult afterwards. But if he doesn't charge it fully, he can instantly ulti even in the middle of the W animation. And then he can just stop your ult. Dodging his Qs also is just generally very important. In the early game, they're kinda slow, so it is easier to dodge them, but you would need tier 1 boots in my opinion at least. You can upgrade them into plated steel caps as well if you wish. Liandry's Torment and Bloodletter's Curse are very good against them. Usually this will be my 2-core against K'Sante. If you want more damage over time, you can just buy Liandry's and that will make it to where if he rushes Kanek Rookern, that shield will take longer to regenerate on him. But if you want more melee power, then you should take Bloodletter's Curse. You won't have the burn chip damage, but in melee range you should be a little bit stronger. And this is because you will shred down his resist, which makes you deal more damage, but K'Sante's damage scales off of bonus resists as well, which means that the lower his resists are, the less damage he does to you. These are the essential things you need to keep in mind in the lane. Dodging as many Qs of his as you can and making sure that your ulti doesn't get cancelled by his W or ult.
Has been slain.
There will be no audio for the first 3 levels, and that is literally it. Afterwards, it will come back. This lane is actually skilled, I would say. And this is because Ornn can do a lot into you. First off, his short trading is pretty good. He can do QW auto, and then he can use his E to end the trade by dashing away. You can try to pull him when he does his E, but you won't always be able to. He can also use his W to cancel your ulti. It is very important to know this, because when he goes in and does the triple brittle combo, you might want to ult him. But you won't be able to do that because he'll just save his W for your ulti. And speaking of his triple brittle combo, it is deadly. If you get caught in it, you're almost always dead. If you want to, you can also take an early no magic mantle into Ornn. And this is because his W and ultimate and actual brittle procs are all magic damage. So by taking that no magic mantle, you will negate a lot of his burst. But you can also go straight up into your Rylai like normal. The moment you get Rylai, you can freeze on your side of the lane and force Ornn to walk up. He won't be able to break the freeze by himself unless he literally just ults the wave. Then he might be able to. If not, he will need help from someone. But if your ultimate is up, you can ulti one of the people ganking you or even Ornn and maybe turn it around and get a kill out of it. Ornn might also itemize a lot of magic resist. Maybe he goes for something like Kaenic Rookern into Hollow Radiance, or Kaenic Rookern into Force of Nature, or maybe even Hollow Radiance into Force of Nature. So if you want, you can go for Bloodletter's Curse second and then Liandry's Torment third. It can work, but I don't always go for it. For example, let's say I need Hextech Rocket Belt over Bloodletter's Curse to actually play team fights. Then I will take that, because maybe they have a lot of ranged characters that I need to get to. Generally speaking though, you don't want to teamfight against Ornn unless you're super fed and he's not that strong. And this is because his ultimate is super deadly in fights, on top of the fact that he can just disrupt your team a lot. He can put down his Q pillar, and then if people aren't paying attention, he can use his E to knock people up. Most of the time it is better to just stay on side lane and force him to answer you. But again, the main thing you're looking to play for is that Rylai spike where you freeze on your side of the lane and just not allow him to walk up.
An enemy has been slain.
Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
I am favored by the gods and awaited in the Hall of Bones.